There comes a moment in life when you realize that the noise around you is nothing but a distraction, a meaningless buzz that pulls you away from your purpose. You hear opinions, judgments, and endless chatter about what you should be doing, what you should look like, how you should think. But here's the truth. None of that matters. The only thing that truly matters is you. Your growth, your journey, your focus. You were not born to fit into a mold created by others. You were not designed to live under the weight of expectations that do not align with your soul. You are here for a reason, and that reason is deeply personal. The moment you stop seeking validation from others is the moment you step into your true power. Look around. The most successful people in the world, the visionaries, the leaders, the creators, they didn't waste time explaining their every move. They didn't announce their plans to the world before they had taken action. They worked in silence. They focused on themselves. And when they finally spoke, the world listened. Silence is one of the most underestimated forms of power. In a world that thrives on noise, opinions, and endless chatter, the ability to stay quiet and focused on your path sets you apart. Most people feel the need to constantly explain themselves, defend their actions, or seek approval from others. But the truth is, no amount of talking will ever validate your dreams the way results will. The more you speak about what you are going to do, the more energy you waste convincing others instead of working on yourself. Successful people understand this. They know that silence holds an undeniable strength. They know that the less they say, the more people wonder. The less they reveal, the more people anticipate. Think about the people who have truly made an impact in the world. The greatest minds, the most influential leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs, none of them wasted time trying to prove themselves with words. Instead, they focused on their craft. They built, they created, they worked in the shadows while the rest of the world was busy talking. When they finally stepped forward, their work was undeniable. People didn't question them because their success spoke louder than any words ever could. Silence gives you control. When you stop explaining yourself, you take back your power. You are no longer giving people the opportunity to judge or criticize you based on your words. Instead, you let your actions define you. This shifts the dynamic completely. It creates an aura of mystery, a sense of purpose that others can feel but can't quite figure out. People become curious. They start to wonder what you're working on, what you're thinking, where you're heading, and that curiosity gives you an advantage. Most people give away their power by speaking too much. They talk about their plans before they've even started. They reveal their weaknesses, their fears, their insecurities, and in doing so, they give others the opportunity to discourage them. But when you stay silent, when you keep your vision to yourself, you protect it from outside interference. You safeguard your dreams from negativity, from doubt, from unnecessary opinions that could derail your progress. The world is filled with people who will never understand your vision, not because it's impossible, but because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Your dreams, your goals, your aspirations belong to you alone. And that means not everyone is meant to see them before they are fully formed. Silence allows you to nurture your dreams in private. It gives you the space to make mistakes, to learn, to grow without the pressure of external judgment. Some people mistake silence for weakness. They assume that if you're not speaking, if you're not constantly making noise, then you're not doing anything. But the truth is, silence is often the loudest form of power. It is the quiet confidence of someone who doesn't need validation. It is the discipline of a person who is committed to their path without the need for attention. It is the mindset of a warrior who understands that battles are not won through words, but through action. When you embrace silence, you start to notice things differently. You become more observant. You see patterns in people's behavior. You recognize who is truly supporting you and who is just waiting for you to fail. You begin to understand the value of energy, where to invest it and where to withdraw it. Silence teaches you patience. It teaches you how to move strategically, how to build without interruptions, how to stay 10 steps ahead while everyone else is distracted by noise. The strongest individuals do not seek recognition, they seek mastery. They are not concerned with proving themselves to the world, they are concerned with proving themselves to themselves. And that is what makes them unstoppable. They do not fear being underestimated because they know that when the time is right, their work will speak for itself. Mastering the art of silence requires discipline. It requires resisting the urge to react, to defend, to explain. It requires understanding that not every battle needs to be fought with words. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. When you remain silent, you force people to watch instead of listen. You make them pay attention to what you are doing, not just what you are saying. And that in itself is a game changer. Distractions are everywhere, pulling you away from what truly matters. The world is designed to keep you occupied with meaningless noise, endless notifications, and the opinions of people who add no real value to your life. Most people don't even realize how much time they waste on things that do not serve them, scrolling through social media, engaging in pointless debates, or worrying about what others think. The truth is, every second you spend focusing on something that does not contribute to your growth is a second wasted. The ability to eliminate distractions is not just a skill, it is a necessity if you want to achieve something meaningful in life. People often think distractions come only in the form of entertainment or social media, but they also come in the form of people who drain your energy, people who constantly bring negativity into your life, people who make you doubt yourself. The company you keep has a direct impact on your focus. If you surround yourself with those who gossip, complain, and make excuses, you will unconsciously adopt the same habits. If you are always around people who do not value time, you will start wasting yours. The more you engage in conversations that do not elevate you, the more you are pulled away from your purpose. To truly grow, you must be ruthless about protecting your energy. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, negativity, and distraction, your life will reflect that. But if you plant discipline, focus, and intentionality, you will see the results in everything you do. Most people never reach their full potential because they allow too many distractions to take root in their minds. They start their day with no clear direction, allowing the world to dictate their priorities instead of taking control. They let every notification, every message, every external influence pull them away from their goals. But those who succeed understand that focus is their greatest asset. They guard their time, their energy, and their mental space like it is the most valuable thing they own, because it is. There will always be something trying to steal your attention. It could be a toxic relationship, unnecessary drama, or even your own fears and insecurities. But the moment you decide that your vision is more important than any of those things, everything changes. You stop entertaining conversations that do not contribute to your growth. You stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand your journey. You stop giving energy to things that drain you. Instead, you start channeling all your focus into what truly matters: your goals, your self-improvement, your future. The most dangerous distractions are not the obvious ones. They are the ones that seem harmless. A 5-minute break that turns into an hour, a small piece of gossip that turns into a deep conversation, a minor inconvenience that ruins your entire mood for the day. The little things add up, and before you know it, you've lost weeks, months, or even years to distractions that seemed insignificant at the time. That is why awareness is key. You must train yourself to recognize distractions before they take hold of you. You must learn to say no to people, to habits, to anything that does not align with your purpose. Focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But just like a muscle, it weakens if you do not use it. Every time you give in to distractions, you are training your mind to be unfocused. But every time you resist distractions and choose discipline instead, you are training your mind to be sharp, resilient, and The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is focus. It is the ability to eliminate everything that does not serve the mission. The world will never stop trying to pull you in different directions. There will always be something demanding your attention, something trying to keep you from your path. But the moment you decide to take full control of your focus, nothing can stop you. You become untouchable. You become the person who is so locked in on their vision that nothing, no distraction, no opinion, no external force can break that concentration. That is when real progress happens. That is when you move from average to extraordinary. The greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself. Everything you desire, success, confidence, financial freedom, inner peace, starts with the effort you put into becoming the best version of yourself. The mistake most people make is expecting change to come from the outside. They look for validation from others, wait for the right opportunity, or hope that luck will somehow transform their lives. But the reality is, nothing changes until you do. The moment you shift your focus inward and start working on yourself with complete dedication, everything else begins to align. People spend years seeking approval, waiting for permission to chase their dreams, or searching for someone to push them forward. They waste time trying to impress others instead of impressing themselves. They seek happiness in relationships, in material possessions, in social status, but they neglect the one thing that truly matters, who they are becoming. You cannot expect your life to improve if you are not improving yourself. The results you get are a direct reflection of the effort you put into personal growth. Your mind is your most powerful asset, but most people never take the time to sharpen it. They fill it with distractions, negativity, and pointless entertainment, yet they wonder why they feel lost or unmotivated. The truth is, what you consume mentally shapes your reality. If you are not constantly learning, growing, and challenging yourself, you are falling behind. Successful people do not wait for motivation to strike. They create it by feeding their minds with knowledge, new skills, and powerful habits. They understand that personal development is not optional. It is the foundation of success. Discipline is another area where most people fail to invest. They want success, but they do not want to put in the work. They want to be physically strong, but they do not take care of their health. They want financial freedom, but they spend recklessly and refuse to develop financial discipline. Every aspect of your life is a reflection of your habits. If you are not actively working to improve yourself, you are unconsciously allowing bad habits to control your future. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. One group chooses discipline over comfort, while the other chooses comfort over progress. Time is another investment that most people take for granted. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. Yet, people waste their time on distractions, unhealthy relationships, and meaningless activities that bring no value to their future. They say they want more out of life, but their actions do not reflect that desire. The truth is, what you do with your time shows exactly what you value. If you value growth, you will dedicate time to learning, working on your craft, and improving yourself every single day. If you value comfort more than success, you will find excuses to avoid the hard work. People often think that investing in themselves is something they will do one day when they have more time, money, or energy. But that day never comes because waiting does not create change. Action does. You must take responsibility for your growth now, not later. You must wake up every day with the mindset that you are building something greater within yourself. That means reading books instead of scrolling through social media. That means choosing discipline over laziness. That means surrounding yourself with people who push you forward instead of pulling you back. There is a reason why most people never reach their full potential. They spend too much time worrying about things outside their control instead of focusing on the one thing they can control: themselves. They waste energy on what others think, on things that have nothing to do with their success. But those who truly invest in themselves understand that nothing external can define them. Their confidence does not come from validation. It comes from the knowledge that they have built themselves into something strong, disciplined, and unshakable. When you make yourself your biggest priority, everything else in your life starts to improve. Your relationships become healthier because you are no longer dependent on others for happiness. Your career advances because you have developed skills and discipline that set you apart. Your mind becomes clearer because you no longer waste energy on things that do not serve you. Investing in yourself is not selfish, it is necessary, because when you grow, everything around you grows. Most people talk too much about what they are going to do, but very few actually do it. They announce their goals, tell everyone about their plans, and explain how they are going to change their lives. But when it comes time to take action, they hesitate, they procrastinate, they wait for the perfect moment. And in the end, they accomplish nothing. The truth is, words mean nothing without action. The more you talk about your plans, the less likely you are to follow through. That's because speaking about something tricks the brain into feeling a sense of accomplishment, making you feel as if you've already taken a step forward when in reality, you haven't moved at all. Successful people understand this. They don't waste time telling the world what they're going to do. Instead, they execute. They make moves in silence. They put in the work when no one is watching. They don't seek validation, they seek progress. And when the results start to show, that's when people finally take notice. But by then, it's too late for doubters, critics, and skeptics to interfere. The work has already been done. When you talk too much about your goals, you open yourself up to unnecessary opinions and doubts. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will believe in you. Some people will try to discourage you, not because they truly care, but because they are projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you. They will tell you it's too risky, too difficult, or impossible. If you are not mentally strong, their words will start to sink in, planting seeds of doubt in your mind. Before you know it, you begin questioning yourself, losing confidence, and eventually abandoning your dreams. Keeping your plans to yourself protects you from this negativity. It gives you the freedom to experiment, to fail, and to learn without the pressure of outside judgment. When you work in silence, there is no one to impress, no one to prove wrong, no distractions pulling you away from your purpose. You are focused solely on growth, on progress, on becoming the person you need to be in order to achieve your vision. Another reason why taking action without announcing it is so powerful is because it eliminates the need for external validation. Too many people chase approval from others instead of focusing on doing the actual work. They post about their ambitions, hoping for likes and comments that make them feel good for a moment. But temporary praise does not lead to long-term success. It creates a false sense of achievement that fades quickly, leaving them in the same place they started. Real confidence comes from results, not recognition. It comes from knowing that you are putting in the work, whether anyone is watching or not. Action is what separates dreamers from doers. Anyone can say they want to be successful. Anyone can talk about their plans for the future, but very few actually put in the work to make those dreams a reality. The ones who do are the ones who move in silence. They wake up early while others are still sleeping. They spend hours mastering their craft while others are wasting time. They are disciplined, focused, and relentless in their pursuit of success. And when they finally achieve their goals, people wonder how they did it so quickly. But the truth is, it wasn't quick. It was years of effort, sacrifice, and discipline that no one saw. The less you speak about your plans, the more energy you conserve for execution. Every time you talk about what you are going to do, you are using energy that could have been spent actually doing it. Instead of sharing your goals, let your progress speak for itself. Instead of proving yourself through words, prove yourself through action. Let your results make the noise. The most successful people don't seek attention. They seek mastery. They don't crave applause, they crave progress. They understand that success is not about how many people know what you are doing. It's about how much work you are putting in behind the scenes. And when the work is finally revealed, the impact is undeniable. Because by then, you are not just someone with a dream, you are someone with undeniable results. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. No one is going to push you forward when you don't feel like moving. The truth is, your life is entirely your responsibility, and until you fully accept that, you will always find yourself waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to believe in you. But the reality is, waiting does nothing. The only way to achieve anything in life is to take full ownership of your journey, to stop looking for excuses, and to understand that your future is in your hands. Most people waste their lives blaming others for their circumstances. They blame their past, their family, the economy, their environment, anything but themselves. They refuse to accept that they have the power to change their situation. But blaming external factors gives away your control. It makes you powerless. Because as long as you believe that something outside of you is responsible for your failure, you will never take the steps needed to succeed. The moment you stop making excuses and take full ownership of your actions, your mindset shifts. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the creator of your own destiny. Taking ownership means understanding that your success is not dependent on anyone else. It means accepting that no one owes you anything. You have to go after what you want with relentless determination. You have to wake up every day and make the conscious decision to put in the work, to push through challenges, to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles come your way. Because if you don't, no one else will do it for you. Most people fail, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, but the moment things get difficult, they give up. They expect success to come quickly and easily, and when it doesn't, they look for someone to blame. But success is never instant. It is built through years of effort, discipline, and perseverance. If you want to achieve anything significant in life, you have to be willing to do the work when no one is watching. You have to stay committed even when progress is slow, even when no one is applauding you, even when doubt creeps into your mind. Taking ownership of your journey also means embracing failure. Most people fear failure so much that they never take risks. They stay in their comfort zone, afraid to step into the unknown. But failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is they never let failure define them. They use it as fuel. They learn from their mistakes, adjust their approach, and keep going. If you want to achieve anything great, you have to develop this mindset. You have to see every setback as a lesson, every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger. Another important part of owning your journey is cutting out the noise. The world is filled with distractions, opinions, negativity, expectations from others. If you spend your life trying to please everyone, you will never become the person you are meant to be. People will always have something to say. They will doubt you, criticize you, and try to pull you down. But none of that matters. The only thing that matters is your belief in yourself and your willingness to keep moving forward despite the noise. You also have to understand that success is not just about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about constantly improving yourself, developing your skills, and making the right decisions. Too many people work tirelessly, but never make progress because they are stuck in the wrong mindset or following the wrong path. If you want to own your journey, you must be willing to adapt, to learn, and to make necessary changes when things are not working. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when doubt, fear, and exhaustion make you question everything. But in those moments, you must remind yourself why you started. You must remember that the only way out is through. No one is going to hand you success. No one is going to do the work for you. It is up to you and only you to create the life you want. Growth is uncomfortable. It requires you to step away from everything familiar, everything safe, and everything that makes you feel at ease. Most people never reach their full potential because they resist discomfort. They choose what is easy over what is necessary. They stay in environments that no longer serve them, surround themselves with people who do not push them forward, and follow routines that keep them stagnant. But real growth only happens when you force yourself into situations that demand more from you, when you willingly embrace the unknown, and when you stop running from challenges and start facing them head on. Everything you want in life exists outside of your comfort zone. The person you want to become, the success you dream of, the confidence you wish you had, it is all waiting for you on the other side of fear, doubt, and struggle. But most people never make it there because they let discomfort stop them. The moment things get difficult, they retreat. The moment they feel fear, they hesitate. The moment they experience failure, they give up. They convince themselves that if something is hard, it must not be meant for them. But this is the biggest lie that keeps people stuck. The truth is, if something is hard, it means it is worth doing. If something challenges you, it means it has the power to transform you. Growth requires sacrifice. You cannot hold on to your old self and expect to become someone new. You have to be willing to let go of habits that no longer serve you, friendships that hold you back, and beliefs that keep you small. This is where most people struggle. They want success without changing their routine. They want confidence without facing their insecurities. They want strength without going through struggle. But nothing works that way. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to shed your old skin, to leave behind the version of yourself that is comfortable, and to step into the unknown with full commitment. Discomfort is not the enemy, it is the path. Every time you feel fear, doubt, or resistance, it is a sign that you are moving in the right direction. Fear only exists when you are stepping into something bigger than yourself. Doubt only appears when you are attempting something meaningful. Struggle only arises when you are pushing beyond your limits. Most people think these feelings are a sign to stop, but they are actually a sign to keep going. If you never feel uncomfortable, it means you are not growing. If everything in your life feels easy, it means you are not challenging yourself enough. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who seek it. They intentionally put themselves in difficult situations, take on challenges that stretch them, and embrace struggle as part of the process. They understand that pressure creates diamonds, that resistance builds strength, and that every hardship is shaping them into someone greater. They do not complain when things get tough. They do not back down when obstacles arise. They face everything with the mindset that growth is on the other side of struggle. Most people are afraid of failure, but failure is not the problem. The real problem is the fear of looking bad, of being judged, of feeling embarrassed. People avoid stepping outside their comfort zone because they are worried about what others will think. They stay in situations that make them miserable just to avoid the discomfort of change. They hold on to excuses because facing the truth is too painful. But in doing this, they remain stuck. They live the same year over and over again, never growing, never evolving, never becoming who they are meant to be. The only way to break free from this cycle is to embrace discomfort fully, to lean into fear instead of running from it, to chase challenges instead of avoiding them, to see struggle as proof that you are moving in the right direction. When you stop seeing discomfort as something negative and start seeing it as a necessary part of growth, everything changes. You no longer hesitate when things get tough. You no longer retreat when obstacles appear. Instead, you push forward with full confidence, knowing that every challenge is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. There is no power greater than a person who is fully focused, fully disciplined, and completely silent in their execution. When you remove distractions, when you stop explaining yourself, when you invest every ounce of your energy into building the best version of you, there is nothing that can stop you. The world is filled with noise. People talk, they doubt, they criticize, they gossip. But you are not here for that. You are here to rise, to evolve, to conquer. So from this moment forward, make a decision to focus on yourself with unshakable determination, a decision to move in silence, to let your results make the noise. No more seeking validation, no more wasting time on meaningless conversations, no more living for the opinions of others. Because when you commit to yourself, when you dedicate your life to mastering your craft, sharpening your mind, strengthening your body, and walking your path with quiet confidence, the world will have no choice but to notice. And when they finally hear your voice, when they finally see what you've built, they won't ask, "Where have you been?" They will say, "How did we not see this coming?" Stay focused, stay silent, and let your success be the loudest thing they ever hear.